Hi guys, it's Steph. Welcome back to my channel. Now today I wanted to talk about something that loads of people have spoken about before, but I've been getting questions about it recently and it really got me thinking that maybe there isn't enough information out there on this topic, and that is pronouns. More specifically, asking for people's pronouns if you've just met someone and you don't want to risk misgendering them. Now this is something that is obviously slightly more pertinent to the trans community because we are more likely to deal with pronouns and using new ones and being misgendered, but this kind of works for everybody because the last time I checked, basically everyone uses pronouns. In line with this, a question I get a lot is, well, how do I ask someone's pronouns respectfully? I don't want to be rude, I don't want to offend someone. How do I just get that into a conversation without making things weird or awkward? And I think that's fair enough. That is a totally understandable question to have if asking for pronouns is something you're not used to. The first thing I would say is just do not make a big deal out of it. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. Like, you don't have to be at a party and see someone across the room and be like, what are your pronouns? But also, it doesn't have to be a thing that you're like shy and scared about, and that's also a big deal because you're like terrified. The way I tend to do it is towards the beginning of a conversation when you've just met someone because it kind of feels the most natural. If you're not comfortable asking yourself, you could ask a friend to do it for you, or something you could do is simply state your own and then say to the other person, these are my pronouns. If you are comfortable, you can then tell me yours. And then that, I think, will help ease other people into it because it will show them that you care and that you're being part of the conversation rather than just asking someone for something and not giving anything back. Something else I think people can try is not just limiting asking for pronouns when you think you should or when you think it's applicable. Don't just ask for people's pronouns at Trans Pride, for example, or at an LGBT event where you know there are going to be some trans people. Obviously ask for pronouns then, but normalize asking in non-trans specific spaces because you can't always tell when people are trans. Like, you're not just going to be able to walk into a room and go, oh, there are no trans people here, I don't need to ask anyone's pronouns. Normalize asking people even if you think they're cis upon meeting them, because also this is a good way to teach cis people that it's not a bad thing, which leads me very nicely onto my next point, which is being asked your pronouns is not offensive. I know it might feel a bit strange because it's new for a lot of cis people because trans people are only recently getting comfortable talking openly about pronouns and asking people theirs. This is something I've only started doing in the past few years. I was way too scared to do it a few years ago. It's not offensive, it's not rude, no one's insinuating anything about you. Like, if you're a cis woman, no one's saying you look like a man. If you're a cis man, no one's saying you look like a woman. Just trying to be respectful because you never know. And you can't base it all on androgyny either because there are some androgynous cis men and women. You can't tell how someone identifies all the time by how they dress. While I personally do obviously love it when people assume my gender because they read me as male, and that's correct, I understand that that's not the case for a lot of people, so I'd rather have someone ask me my pronouns and I'll just tell you it's he, him, and then we move on, rather than me be assumed correctly, which feels great, but then have somebody else be misgendered because that person's assuming for everyone. I just think this is something we should normalize because there are people who are more likely to be misgendered for a variety of reasons, unfortunately, whether they're early on in their transition, whether they do not want to go on hormones. We should just be trying to be as inclusive as possible and make people feel as comfortable as possible because God knows, things can be crappy enough. We do not need to make it worse by making other people feel horrible for like no reason. This is something that can be avoided. You simply ask their pronouns. And for those people worrying that they will offend someone by asking their pronouns, I have never been in a situation where I've asked someone's pronouns and they've got offended. The only way someone will get offended is if you misgender them, and if you ask, you're never going to misgender them. It's a win-win for everybody. Be nice to people and be respectful and ask pronouns if and when you can. It's as simple as that, really. That is it from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you're having a good day, evening, night, wherever you are, and I will see you all very soon. Also, yes, I am aware that I look like an actual bridge goblin because I haven't shaved in 2 months. Look, it's quarantine. I figured what better time to grow my beard out and look like a troll. There is no better time, it's now. So this is how I look at the minute. I'm probably gonna see if I can braid it at some point soon, just for bants, really. It's going well, guys. It's going well. Alright, bye.